Next on the Love You More Show.
I'm married to her. I'm cheating, obviously. But then I had this span in which I said, I stopped. I ain't doing it no more. Along comes this real estate agent. One of my friends was getting a house and said, hey, come with me, come see the house. All right, cool. I see this real estate agent. I get out of my truck. Man, I'm blown away. I'm 2 years out the game. But I see her, man, I, with my married self, got into a full-blown affair. Like, this is a girl, I don't know what's up with her, but my heart is being pulled to her in a way that I can't explain. And I know how horrible infidelity is, and I know how tough cheating is, and I am that bastard and that mother blah, blah. I'm all that, okay? Let's just throw that out there.
Right. All of the above. I'll take it.
Man, I ended up, my first child I had with this girl.
So I put my earrings on today because this guest decided to put his on. Here's the thing. I know that has nothing to do with traditionally what we talk about, but I think we know each other enough to know that there's some things I do because I'm influenced by others. Okay? Let's just get that out the way. And not only have I been influenced by the man that you're about to hang out with today with my earrings, I actually have been influenced by the man that he is. You know, the fact that he's so open about the things that he's gone through. In fact, I know on many platforms, you've heard me talk about the little boy on the inside of me and what version of myself I sometimes fight with. And sometimes this little boy on the inside of me competes with the man that I have become. You know, I would have never known any of that if I didn't have the opportunity to experience this gentleman up close and personal. So today, listen, guys, you are in for a treat. You have seen viral moments with him. You have had the opportunity to see one of our biggest, most amazing performing videos on the channel. The response has been overwhelming for him to be right here in the chair, to sit down with us, to learn more about him, right? Of course, to many of you all who have come from my radio audience, especially in the ATL, he has been a radio voice to the community for years and years. And now he stepped out on faith and he's doing so many things in the visual arts area, as well as probably one of the top 5 voices in all media. When you hear commercials, you most of the time will hear him. It's my brother. And I'm so thankful that I get the opportunity to hang out with KD Bowe. What's happening, champ?
What's up, man?
Yeah, man.
First of all, I've never had an introduction like that.
Really?
In my life.
Man, listen.
I'm 52 years old. I never had an introduction like that. So thank you.
Man, listen, I'm so thankful that I get the opportunity to sit down with you. Here's the thing, family. We said this right before we got on. He said, you know, I have no idea what we're talking about.
I know you're about to sit here and try to interview me, brother, because we got way too many things to talk about.
No. I figured we would have a really good conversation. You know, what I did was I just looked through the comments of all of the views that we got on this particular video. Shaquan, swipe it in just a little bit. Just play a little bit of slow.
You are eligible bachelor. You are an eligible bachelor.
Sure.
You are eligible bachelor. I'll give you a pass. What woman would be the woman that you could marry now? What kind of woman could you marry now? Because you got women looking at this show and they're saying, these are good dudes. They watch your content and the whole nine. Mm-hmm. What does she exist that could make you marry her now?
Well, I mean, it has to be a vetting process, but I'm looking for value.
Okay, vetting process. Okay, yeah. So how long is the vetting process? You saying 2-3 years?
I would say about 2 years.
Okay, so 2 years. So she is what you want now, and you're gonna make her wait 2 years?
That video right there. No. I had so many comments of ladies and men, and I say ladies and gentlemen, who came in and just said, I want to know more about this guy. And so for the first time in the history of the Love You More show, I want to ask you this. What part of you would you like to share with the audience? Because everybody's curious about you.
Hey, man, I was talking to my wife about that earlier, and I'm an open book.
Yeah.
For the first time, I'm an open book.
Yeah.
For you.
Yes, sir.
Because I know you can handle it well.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because you know where the bodies are buried, so you know.
Right.
Don't ask nothing about nothing over there.
Nothing over there, no.
Or not. I mean, it's up to you. I'm an open book, so you know. Yeah, I'm open for whatever you want, bro.
There's a viral clip that's still going viral right now. It's over 923,000 views on my Instagram page. It's over 523,000 views on my Facebook page. I don't know, Shaquan, I don't want to start lying about numbers on YouTube, but you posed the question. You said, right now, if you're with a woman and you think she's good for the time, right? You think she's good for the time. You ask one of the guys, you said, well,
I think that we should be honest with each other. In the manosphere, it's a very dangerous place.
What is the manosphere?
So the manosphere is where a bunch of content creators have come together and they do pro-male content. And the weird part is, it's this red pill community. The red pill community is where guys are just harsh, and it's the high value man, and it's just a lot of stuff. You feel me? So I never liked that because it pits us against each other. Yeah. And so women got to qualify. You don't qualify for no high value man. You ain't, how do you deserve a high value man? And then it just got nasty. Yeah. And my challenge is when these men, and no disrespect to Hardly Initiated. None. Yeah. None.
You're my brother. So let me say this too. He called them and said, listen, these are just comments and the fat boys didn't break up. We all together, baby. We all together. So it's a lot of love. Want to let everybody know everybody's good. We still love each other. We're working. Just viral moments and comments can never separate a strong bond. Continue.
Because the truth is we're better together.
We are.
And the thing is, if you're waiting and you're doing all of this, let me pause. Let me see what's happening. Let me just take my time. There is a such thing as a biological clock. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you can't wait until you can technically, but it's like, I want to wait and wait and wait. And all the while she's getting older and older. And so 32, 34, 35, 40. Now you're talking about geriatric pregnancy. But at the same time, you say you want kids. You got to make it make sense. Yeah. And so there's nothing that is 100% easy about marriage, but you have to make up your mind that this is what I want. And I want to be a guy that's married. Yeah. I want to be a husband. And so when you look through that lens, then it's easier to find what you're looking for.
I understand, but I want to just kind of insert a thought because I agree, but I don't totally agree. And I, we're two guys who really love God, who are prominent in our careers. We're pushing towards the goal of greatness. We got a lot of things that we would like to do. Yeah. However, we do have some different stains that are on our name, our legacy, our lineage, because we decided to make decisions and we said, you know what, we're going to get a divorce. We said yes. And the truth is there are so many divorced men out here who have very, very tough, strong stories. And I think these younger guys are doing a really good job of being a lot more careful to not dive head first into something just because it looked good and feel good. I don't think anybody's intentionally holding up somebody's time. I don't think the vetting process has to be 2 years, but I think when you hear so many stories, when we were coming up, if we can be honest, like, people didn't talk about what was going on in their marriage. We heard about Keisha and John getting popped upside the head, but women were a lot more silent. We didn't have the opportunity to see social media. But now with all of these images that are coming into men, it's like, if you got a little something, you're like, okay, so what are you here for? Now, I'm not saying that there has to be a time, but I think I'm pro guy being a lot more candid, being a lot more focused on, okay, she cute, it's good, this is my vision. How does her vision work with me? So I'm really good with young men taking the time to say, they in their 30s. I'm good with them taking the time because I didn't do that at 26. I said, you who I want to be with. Right. And then, you look at 39 years old, you're like, oh, I'm divorced. So don't you think that scares young men to be a little bit more careful in their choosing? Or you just think like, okay, cool, her biological clock is going. Let's get in. If it works, is that a roll of the dice? For me, marriage is forever, but it didn't happen like that. Yeah. So I don't want them to make the same mistake. So I love the fact that they're smart enough to vet something because I wasn't that smart.
I think moving in fear is not the same thing as moving in wisdom. All right, imagine this. You've got a cable channel. There are 285 channels. And you sit down and say, let me find something to watch. You've gotten all the way through 233 and you get up from the thing, turn it off and say ain't nothing on TV to watch. But we know that's not the truth.
That's true.
Back in the day, we had 3-4 channels and you made yourself content with what was there. I think that there are so many options for a man, a good man, that there is this analysis paralysis thing going on. And I understand what you're saying. I think it's fair, but go into it with intention. Like if I know I'm sitting down, I'm watching Netflix, I want to watch a Marvel comedy. I want to watch a drama. I know what direction I'm going in, and I don't look at nothing else outside of that. I'm clear. Now, so when I say it's a lot of options, it's a lot of good and bad options. So I think that when you put the focus on, you put the focus lens on, then all of the bad stuff you don't really entertain because, quite frankly, you don't see it. Like it's like buying what's the last car you bought?
I'm not gonna say.
Go ahead and say. So it was a jet. Okay, so my thing is, let's say it's a Porsche. You buy a Porsche, all right? For some reason, since you bought that Porsche, everywhere you look, that Porsche is everywhere now. It wasn't just everybody just went out and got a Porsche. You focused on it. And that's now what you're attracted to. That's what you see. And I think that when we play around with all the other stuff, the candy, it's kind of hard to settle down with the black eyed peas, bro. Even though the black eyed peas and the greens is good for you. I'm pro-marriage because I'm pro-black, pro-community. And I think that we're better together. But I just feel like we just have to be honest with ourselves. And I don't talk like into the public like this, especially when women are listening, because I don't want to down my dudes. But let's be real. Hey, some of y'all, hey man, honestly, you're just not ready to get married because you're scared. I'm not ready to move there but say that. Because some women are thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be the one they're going to be there to heal him.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. And I just think that when you play with somebody's heart, that's how you wake up with your tires slashed and, all the craziness.
Hey, do me a favor. If you feeling this conversation, we didn't even do no icebreaker, but y'all go tune into some music that we usually play on here. If you're new to the show, we usually have an icebreaker, but I know him. And we talk all the time. And so right now, if you're just tuning in on the premiere, major love to all of the hundreds of people who watch on the premiere. We're just kind of talking about the viral moment that we have and just kind of taking a really deep dive into the conversation. So for those people who want to know you, I know that you're KD Bowe and you're a former radio guy, the voice of so many different commercials I can't even count. But who is KD Bowe, the person that now has all of this wisdom? Because one thing I know about wisdom, it comes through experience. Talk a little bit about your experience as a child coming up and then moving into marriage from that little boy that you were initially.
Wow, bro. I was raised in the country, Grandy, North Carolina.
Grandy,
Currituck, is in the area of North Carolina.
Somebody just said good job, but
so we traveled the country singing as a group from like maybe 8 years old until I was like 16 or so. And we was like regionally, like every weekend we was out singing. My brothers, my dad, some friends or whatever. And I was raised in the church, man. I was a church dude. Raised in the country, green, first time I had sex, I was married,
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I was virgin, it was like, it's just green as they come.
Okay.
And I get married, and then 2 weeks later, I have an internship in Atlanta at the Environmental Protection Agency. And I moved to Atlanta.
How old were you when you got married?
21.
Oh God, just legal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sheesh.
And I came I moved to Bankhead.
Oh man.
Hey bro, let me tell you something.
Where you from?
It was different. And I just opened my eyes, but I was still cool. But I had so many wounds, man, from as I was a kid, wounds of rejection. It's just many things I was overlooking that I thought that success would wash out. But it didn't play like that, bro. No, it didn't play like that. The more successful I got, I just never was able to trust the people that was around me, that they're with me because of me. Now, y'all here because of what I can do. You're here because of what I can provide. You're here because I'm on the radio in 50 cities and I got a name. And it was tough to really think that somebody genuinely loves me because I just didn't love myself. On God. And I didn't know that until recently. I'm now having to go back and peel back the layers of so much stuff and so much blame that I gave to my former wife, to my current wife. And I had to peel back those layers and say, you know what? I said it was you. I said it with my whole chest. I was loud when I said it.
I was saying it with my whole chest. And I was loud too.
But it was me.
It was my problem.
Yeah, it was me.
So when you look at you being that person, not believing that somebody could love you for not what you do, but for who you are. I tell my sons all the time, even when they get a great grade or they do something that's not so favorable, I said, I love you. Not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Because I too struggle with that. Because to be adopted, it would insinuate that somebody didn't love you if you're not careful. But now, since I met her, it was like, I wanted you to have a normal life. I wanted to make sure, because these lights weren't going to, it's going to be a lot going on with 2 kids in this house. I'm 18 years old. But I took a lot of my time trying to prove that I'm the biggest thing in the world. And I look at all the people who came in my life. Now, I wasn't the guy like, I don't trust you like that and you could feel the energy, but I just never fully gave of myself in anything, including my former marriage, because I always had this thing in my head that said,
come on, man,
you gonna leave me.
Yes.
Because if I don't perform correctly, and then this woman, she had her own personal injuries as well. So she's protecting things. So she's kind of, as luck would have it, she's really feeding the insecurity by showing me certain things that she don't love about me and focusing on that. So I'm like, it proves my theory.
Yes, confirmation bias. So, man, 17 years old, I'm dating a girl that I eventually married. And man, I ain't never told this story before. And I am looking to make sure she good with it. Okay. But
you safe. She's her spirit is cool.
No, my wife, she cool as a fan, but I'm talking about the other one.
Yeah.
I'm talking about her.
She's not always fan.
But she cool too, Lord, if you're watching. 17 years old, I'm dating her or whatever, and for whatever reason, I'm good. I think I'm good. And she just breaks up with me out of the clear, just breaks up. And I don't know the reason, like why. I'm a minister in the church. I'm doing all the things. I'm saved. I'm good and saved. I'm a handsome dude. I know what it's like to have girlfriends and be outside. I traveled to, I didn't outside like that, right. but we traveled as a quartet. So we knew what was up. I knew what girls was, but I said, no, I'm good with this one. And she broke up with me out of the blue. And it hurt me so bad, bro. I don't think I got over it, man, until we were good and divorced and I was married again. It was a rejection that I got that I wasn't, it was a confirmation that I wasn't good enough. And so what I said was, maybe it's because I don't got a lot of money. Maybe it's because I don't. And so I got on this trek of, you know what? I'm going to show them. Like I've heard you say, I'm going to show them.
I'm going to show you, yeah.
I'm going to work hard. I'm going to become. So eventually she came back. Oh, I wish I could tell that part of the story, but I'm going to be kind. Lord have mercy. So she came back. Well, so she came back and we wasn't virgins no more. I was, you feel me?
Yeah.
So it was just crushed. But we ended up getting married. She said something one day. I was at work and I said, well, hey, I'm here trying to learn the system. I'm going to be home. It's going to be late. She said, well, you know what? I don't care what time you come home. As long as my bills are paid, you can stay there, as long, forever or something like that. And I know she meant, I don't want to put no pressure on you to come home now. But then it was confirmation. And when that confirmation hit, Doc, I remember the breaking of my heart and my psyche. And it was at that moment I became somebody else. And I became the guy that was the performer, but I wasn't faithful anymore. And I wasn't trying to be faithful anymore.
Yeah.
I was, that Nate Dogg song, Holes in Different Area Codes.
Yeah.
I was on 50 radio stations. I was outside.
Wow.
Yep.
Just in a moment. Like.
Because I needed to, because then it was what happened before we got married. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm not good enough. Mm-hmm. So now I need to even the score.
Right.
I ain't been with nobody but you. Mm-hmm. So let me just even the score. Mm-hmm. I was immature is what it was.
Yeah. First
one, I ain't like that. Second one, I don't feel different. That ain't the one. Third one, man, it was good, but I don't feel different. Like, I don't feel like the score is even. I feel like I still, and it went on and on and on. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Mm-hmm. I didn't really get much out of it like that. Mm-hmm. It was the performance for me. Mm-hmm. It was being able to turn a girl's will, her will, WILL. Mm-hmm. She wanted to go in this direction, but my woo made her come in this direction.
Yeah.
She wanted to stop talking, but my woo made her keep talking.
Yeah.
And once we got up to that point where she was like, all right, well, hey, what's up? Now I don't want to do it no more.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't about that for me. It was about being enough to be able to impose my will like I want. Mm-hmm. But then I had to go all the way through with it because I ain't about to be no punk.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's...
Yeah, no, I understand.
I don't know if that's gonna make it to the.
No, so here's the thing that I appreciate you sharing. Yeah. Here's the catch-22. I always like to give stories that really kind of actually help the uncomfortableness of being very honest about parts of you that it's like, damn, that part. So my best friend, we're growing up. He is the most amazing artist that I have ever met. He's a live wire. Because his daddy leaves when we're about 7 or 8. And I say his daddy leaves us because we're that close. We're brothers, right?
Oh.
And so literally he got all the girls at 12. He smashing something. I'm still kissing people. I'm like, oh, we doing it for real? You know what I mean? Yeah. And like literally around 22 years old, 23 years old, he gets married and he stops everything. He gives his all to this woman. She cheats. It crushes him. She embarrasses him in front of us a lot of times because she's just a live wire. She already has a trauma. He loves her with all his heart.
Yeah.
He's crushed. They divorce. He has never calmed down since.
Really?
He was a beast. Like, because it was done so out loud, it was like the betrayal changed everything in his heart to be faithful. He seen her in every woman that he ever dealt with. Until now, it took him going, to some places where, we probably never want our young boys to go to, and him really kind of connecting with himself and God. Notice I say himself and God, because you can have God because he's a church guy. He was more church than I was. His family used to clean the church. Hell, my family just sent me to church with Auntie Louise, you know what I mean? And to see him kind of mature into that person in his 40s now, to kind of heal that little boy, to be able to be the man that's necessary for the next thing that's coming into his life, because he's seen so much happen. What were you able to do with that hurt? Was it misplaced? Did you just get married to like, okay, cool, well, now I am worthy? Because sometimes we just jump into stuff just to jump into stuff. It makes us feel good at the moment. So how do you take that hurt and not put it on your next person? Was it something you did in the marriage? Was it something that you did before the marriage? Because that hurts and it can continue to haunt you if you're not careful. Like, what was that process like for KD?
Well, all right. Okay. All right. You want to go there? Let's go there. So for me, it was more about stopping and addressing, but I didn't stop and address. Matter of fact, the wounds that I had, let me say this real quick before we move on. I just now realized, not today, but just recently, in, I don't know, a year or so, you'll never be able to love somebody more than you love yourself. You can't. It may look like it, but you can't. And so because I didn't love myself, I didn't find myself worthy enough, every pastor that I was up under got jealous in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Every situation that I was in, I would always be able to matriculate to a certain point, and it would just, the bottom would fall out, bro. Man, the only thing I wanted to do was just be somebody to just take me under their wing and show me what the hell is going on. I didn't know what was happening. a lot of talent, raw. And I just needed somebody to not look at me as competition, not size me up because of my voice or my height or whatever it was. Just give me a chance. Because I got this grown man body, this grown man voice, but inside I'm a little boy. And it was tough, man. And so all of that rejection just made me just say, F everybody, F the world. I'm going to get it out the mud. I'm going to find a way to do it. Mm-hmm. And so I'm married to her. I'm cheating, obviously. But then I had this span in which I said, I stopped. I ain't doing it no more. Because I don't get nothing out of it like that anyway. Mm-hmm. Along comes this real estate agent. One of my friends was getting a house and said, hey, come with me, come see the house. All right, cool. I see this real estate agent. I get out of my truck. Man, I'm blown away. I'm 2 years out the game. Mm-hmm. But I see her. I'm like, man, let me just. And it was something about her. I said, if I keep her card, this is going to be a problem. So I went home, I ripped the card up, and I threw it away. Because I said, I don't want to go down that road again.
Yeah, I've been there, done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as luck would happen, we ended up going back, me and my friend, we ended up going back to a restaurant. I think it was like around the time of closing. She was in there. I couldn't pull up at that point. Man, I, with my married self, got into a full-blown affair. Like, this is a girl, I don't know what's up with her, but my heart is being pulled to her in a way that I can't explain. And I know how horrible infidelity is, and I know how tough cheating is, and I am that bastard and that mother blah, blah. I'm all that, okay? Let's just throw that out there.
Right. All of the above. I'll take it.
Man, I ended up, my first child I had with this girl. My first child, while I'm married, I had a baby with this girl. And I'm like, oh, man. So I went home. I told my wife, listen, this happened, with the full understanding that she's going to be like, yeah, I can't be with you no more. I'm out. She cried for 16 hours. And she said, nah, I don't want you to go nowhere. And I stayed. I couldn't be the a-hole, to cheat and then bounce.
Right.
And so, at least she would need to be the one. So I stayed. And of course, that real estate agent, it hurt her. Mm-hmm. And now I got a son, mm-hmm. and my heart is just thrown. But then I ain't never had no kids with this one. So now I got to try to fix it. Mm-hmm. So now we work to have a child. Got my daughter, Kayla. She comes into the world. One evening, I don't know what happened. Something happened. Clearly it happened. Got my other son, Cameron. Uh-huh. And I said, that's it.
That's it.
And I'm out. And I left.
Wait a minute. I missed that part.
Yep. I left.
So one evening, you don't know what happened and you leave.
I don't know what happened. We had a child.
Okay.
I got her pregnant.
Right.
So when he was born, both of them preemies, when he was born, I then said, I love this girl too much. And at the very minimum, I can be in my children's life. But I got children on both sides now. This one came into the situation while I was married. Okay, you wrong, all of that. But at that point, I was like, yeah, y'all have been giving me y'all butt to kiss anyway. So quite frankly, if y'all leave me, and they did, the church, y'all leave me, and they did.
Oh, the church left.
Oh, bro. Because the thing is, we was all friends. But to be friends with me means that you got to look her in the face and talk about how we was out kicking it or whatever. I was done. And so I left, gave her everything, all of the stuff, all the ways, things that we do to make ourselves feel better, all this and get all the money, hey, your child support should be this. No, it needs to be this. Take this and the car and the peanut butter, all of that.
I'm over here reaching for stuff.
Right.
What is he talking? Is he reading my mail?
Bro, I did all of that because I felt bad. I mean, I knew I didn't want to be with her like that anymore. I knew that. But the nice guy in me said, she's always wanted a kid. You can at least give her a kid. Man, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I really don't.
I know.
But I love my babies, so it's tough to talk about it. I love them.
This is true.
They're now 21, what's it, 20, 21, no, 21, 20, 21, and 23.
Okay.
So they about to be 21, 22, 23.
Okay.
And I left and I ended up marrying that real estate agent. And
so it did work out.
she is my wife today of 16 years. Been with her for 24 years.
Wow.
Yep. So let me circle the block a little bit. When people was talking about me in that clip, the viral clip, that's what a good guy is. See, that's what I want. And I said, there's a part of me that wanted to be like, I'm gonna push back on that because you don't know what it took to get to me being in this space. You don't know how expensive this wisdom was. And it's almost like I wanted to say, nah, I'm a rapscallion just like most people. I got some, me too. That's just me being defensive a little bit because I don't want to take on the whole you're a good guy. But when I know truth is on any given Sunday, bro, any given Sunday, I could be back in the news again and everybody's talking about, oh, you did X, Y, Z. No, I didn't want that. But I'm saying today to you that yes, we experience some things that make us who we are. But as long as we continue to do the work, learn how to love ourselves first, things begin to change. So I took some serious therapy. And I'm not talking about it gets better and it gets better to you. It don't get better to everybody else. You keep going though, you get a little bit better. Them jokers still can't see it, but you got to keep on going. And eventually the people that you want to see it, they'll be like, oh, you kind of changed a little bit. But you can't do it for them. You got to do it for yourself. And so when I had to, like I said, man, I'd look at that little boy in the mirror and I affirm him and I tell him just how valuable he is, how amazing he is, how you are more powerful than you think. And when I speak to him with such power and I speak with him with so much conviction, man, it begins to heal my heart. You feel me? It begins to heal my heart. And I learned how to love me, man. Because I didn't like me. There's nothing I could do, man, that could make me worthy of love. You could tell me I was raised in the church. I preached the gospel. But it wasn't until, man, I had to do more than love God, man. I had to love me. And that took time. It took a lot of books, took a lot of therapy. It took a lot of time for me to scrape my knees. Even in this marriage, man, I took my wife through so much because I was wounded, bro. And I think that what's easy for men to say is we're mad, we're pissed, we're angry. But it's hard for us to say, man, I'm sad. Man, I'm hurt. Man, I'm depressed.
Man, I'm jealous. I'm insecure.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
I'm learning how to get on that feeling spectrum, and I go pick it, and I was just like, oh, this feels so soft, but I'm insecure.
Yeah.
And if I tell some other guys, they'd be like, man, how is you insecure? Man, you got the da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, no, you don't get it. And so I thank you for giving me a safe place to land. I just, like, full transparency, I hit him the other day. Man, my little boy is tearing me up. And here's the thing.
Hey, we never talked about that either.
But you didn't pry.
No.
You didn't pry. You said, what's more important is to know that I am praying for you. And so I couldn't even fix my face to tell you and my life to tell you, like, I'm just so insecure right now.
Yeah, bro.
But I just knew that I could just, drop the ball over there and be like, yo, bro, just pray for me. Because there's so many different insecurities that come with, I can talk to you because you've seen it. And you can see how everybody thinks that it's so great. And it's almost like a smack in the face to people who've never seen it.
Yeah. For
you to complain about some of the things that you go into internally. Like, we were just sitting with William Murphy, and I was looking at his face, and I'm just like, you haven't, like, it was like, oh, you had to find somewhere safe to land, because everybody would never understand. Because on paper, it just looks so freaking good.
Yes, bro.
And the thing about a performance-based ministry is that you master performance. but you never master feeling. So when you feel, you perform.
You never master. You master performance, but you never master your feelings.
Never. You don't, because you don't have to. It's like a pretty girl. They say many times girls with pretty privilege will always be the toughest women to marry because they don't have to fix nothing. They just look good. They don't have the thing where they have to, I should probably be fixing this because there's always going to be somebody right on the side like, you're so beautiful. I just did it. So there's so much that goes in. So when you're praised the way we are, that's not healthy.
I got you. Yeah.
Like, so I don't know how to feel because I've mastered performance. And it's the response. Marriage.
Yes, bro. And it's the response to when you say, I really ain't got it together. And it's the pivot from adoration to almost like, they're looking at you almost like a liar, and it's a look that feels like disgust.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like it's like me, I'm saying to you that what you said or what you thought is incorrect. And nobody likes to be told that they're wrong. Mm-hmm. So it's an amalgamation, if that's a word, of feelings that's going on at the same time. So you know what I do? I just shut my mouth and I don't say nothing. I'd be like, yeah, I'm good. Until I get to the people that I can be safe with and I tell them the truth.
Man, I've run into you so much. Like we've sat in here and had these I feel like you guys are just getting an opportunity to really just kind of sit in on conversations that we had the esteemed privilege to talk about, but I've never heard it that way. Like I've never gotten to your story, maybe because I was talking so much about mine and you were helping me, but I do really appreciate you knowing that this is a safe space to land. I do got to ask you this though, like after you make a decision so strong to say, I'm going to marry this woman, although the time lapse is really, really unique. This person is over here barking so much. He's this, he's that. He'll never change. He's always going to be like, he's going to do you the way he did me.
Oh, yeah, bro.
So the question becomes, is there an opportunity for a man who has cheated to change?
So what made David a good man or a man after God's own heart? It was David's heart. Mm-hmm. David was the apple of God's eye. David had God's heart. Hey, man, cheating is what you do. Cheating ain't who you are. And until you, and if you own that distinction, well, then there you go. You're a cheater. But if you don't own that distinction, if you say this is an experience that I had based on where I was, and especially if you're doing the work to be better, no, man, that's what you did. It ain't who you are. And I think that we got to do a better job with not defining ourselves by our F-ups. Mm-hmm. We got to define ourselves, man, by what God says about us. I'm not sure what you asked me. Tell me, repeat your question again.
No, just more so like it's been this age-old thing, especially when you're in a relationship and you either find somebody else during that time. Shout out to my brother Keon. He let people know, hey, the time lapse, if you're looking for months and when I did what, like, hey, at the end of the day, this divorce took a long time and I wasn't waiting for my good thing. She was here a year, and I was done with that in my heart already, and this is what it was. And so you'll take a guy like you who's just very, very honest, and I don't even think I've been that honest about some of the things that I've had to endure, to say, hey, man, while I was married.
It's been 24 years for me, though, bro.
Right.
Bro, and the thing is, I've been living long enough now for all of the, and I don't suggest you come right out of the gate talking about it because it's too early. But now I've got kids, one son in the Navy, one daughter off to college, another son, with a dog grooming, a dog breeding company. I've been with this woman for 16 years. It's been rocky, but I've been with her for 16 years. Mm-hmm. We stood the test of time. What can you tell me about what's going to happen?
Nothing.
It's been 24 years. So it's still going to happen? Is that what you're saying? So I just think that we need to be okay, man, with number one, offering some grace, but also number two, kind of look and see where a person's heart is. And you can find a person's heart based on just kind of spending some time around them, talking to them. Mm-hmm. And then also show me your process for healing. Like my mama would always say, we would give her our math homework, and we could got all of them right. Mm-hmm. She didn't believe nothing on that paper until you could show her the work. Mm-hmm. Show me the page where you did all the work. Mm-hmm. If you show me your process, then I'm gonna believe this. And so I believe that it's not about what a person says, it's what they do, and I got to see your process. Let me see your process. What did you do to start healing? What books did you read? What accountability courses did you go to? Accountability circles what kind of boundaries did you put in place? Those things are important. And in the absence of them, I would say, yeah, pause. Because the only thing that you got that is loud is the infraction. But until you start healing and so you start doing the work, you can't change the narrative.
Yeah. What does the work look like for a man who has never really had any strong men in their life who's done the work? Is that something that you just make a decision on yourself? Was there a point in your life, because you got money, you got the job, you have a name that's known. When did you get the aha moment, and when did you get the aha moment like, oh, I need some help? Like, was that something you seen somebody else do?
I saw somebody outside my circle.
That you admired?
That I admired.
Okay.
And they said this, nah, I don't cheat. Why? Why would I do that? Why would I cheat when I could just leave? And that thought had never come in my mind, because most people, I don't want to say all, but a lot of people that I was up under in the circles I was running in, cheating was just a thing. It's one of those things that you understand. I saw this dude, he had money, he was healthy, he looked good. And I'm gonna be honest, this sounds so bad. But his wife wasn't like, she wasn't like, you feel me, a model. But he made a commitment that I'm going to stick with you because this is what I choose to do. And when that paradigm was broken for me, I knew it was possible. Everybody I knew, I'm not going to say that. A lot of people I knew, that's what they did.
Yeah,
and so for me to understand, you got to understand, I know what it's like to be raised, to be in the ministry. And I'm sitting outside the hotel room while my man of God is in the hotel room tearing something up. So, and then to go to the revival afterwards and be so prophetically gifted, healing ministry, the whole nine. I just, in my mind, like, hey, there's some people that can just do it. God just give them some grace to be able to do it. I didn't know I was messed up, bro. So it wasn't until I changed my circle. I started getting different books. My first book was Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. No, it wasn't. The first book was, it'll come back to me. But that was among the first books. And I just started changing. And then I started realizing that real dudes that I want to be around, they read too.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when I got
That's how we connected.
Yep.
I was like, a reader. I'm on that one too. There's a lot of that. Yeah.
And so, man, even if you can't get in the presence of a Dale Carnegie or Les Brown or whoever, they got books. And now you can learn from them. And that's how I learned, bro. Yeah. That's how I got better. My circle changed, and then I began to change. I started to see myself as the odd man out. Yeah. And I didn't want to be the odd man out.
I was the odd man out of my circle because I knew what I had on the inside of me. So I overcompensated to push the relationship in the forefront to attempt to fight the internal demons that I was fighting. So I figured if I put it on this pedestal, it will force me to be faithful. It will force me to keep this thing going. And I think that was probably the worst thing that you could ever do when you're going through something. Instead of going to go get help, I just promoted it more so men could see me as, I'm fighting through it and you can fight through it. But I didn't ever tell them I didn't know the strategic steps of how to fight correctly. Bro. My fight was like, I'm gonna stay home more. I'm gonna just listen a little bit more. I'm gonna agree with happy wife, happy life.
And white knuckling it.
I'm talking about straight jet, nothing. Nothing, not bringing in help. So when I decided to go get help, that's when it got a little unique because I no longer was the same little guy who could listen to everything and yes to everything, struggling with codependency. I started to see myself as valuable. And when I began to get valuable and validated by the Father and not my talent, I would walk in rooms and I was like, oh, you can't talk to me like that, not because of who I am and what I do, but because of the person that I now know who lives in me.
Wow.
Because I'm no longer like living off talent. So I can give two about if people like it or they don't like it. I'm so confident in him and who he made me. And that is very intimidating for people who are used to you being codependent to whatever behavior that they choose to give you.
So and I'm sure this plane probably should have already been landed. I get it.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm going to give you just a little bit of pushback on that, and for the guys that's in that space, because I was the same way. Fresh out of coming into a new way of being. The problem is I've been with this woman, with the old way of being for so long. And I wanted to come in, I wanted to switch it up real quick. And it wasn't that she didn't want to hear. She didn't want to roll. I heard God tell me that I had to have grace for her in that journey. And it was because she was worth it. Now, granted, I had 6 months, like Marcus, I had 6 months when I had my condo downtown.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I was gone.
Yep.
But and I was good and gone. I didn't want to go back. I was good. But it was right around the 4th and a half, 5th month, she hit me up and said, I was praying about what my next would be. And she said, I wrote a list about he needs to be this. And she said, my wife, my stubborn Taurus wife said to me, she said, and God told me, shut up. I'm like, ooh, the Lord said that? She said, shut up. She said, he told me you had him and you mishandled him. And she then, when she started talking to me now, there was a little something on her voice that my angst, it kept getting tempered, kept pushing it down. And as much as I wanted to still be mad and I still wanted to be out of the house and I still wanted to be salty, I couldn't not hear that something in her voice that was drawing me to her. And she grabbed my heart, bro. I didn't want to say it out loud. I didn't want that. But when God intervened in her heart, boy, you don't want to. When God intervened on her heart, man, it let me know that I was going to make the worst mistake of my life if I stay on this path. And I was still scared to go back. But I just said, God, if you make it happen, if you work it out, and here we are today, brother.
Wow.
Here we are today.
Having fear, but still going back.
Terrified.
What part of you was terrified?
The terrified part was being afraid that all the times that I took down, all the times that I made concessions, all the times that I was the one to apologize, all the times that I was the one to go the extra mile, that it was going to happen again. And I just could not open myself back up to that. I was afraid to open myself back up to that space where I would be hurt again. Because that's really what it was. It was hurt. And true, I left because I needed to honor myself. But when God intervenes, I couldn't miss that. I could not see that. And I saw it. And I wanted her to run. She wasn't running, though. It was a brisk walk, but she was moving. Sometimes she was walking slow, but she was moving. And I couldn't get mad because she wasn't moving as fast as I wanted her to move.
So when I look at this, I just want to make sure that I understand, because I want the women and men on the other side of this to get the opportunity to kind of see it. Because I see her angle. When she was talking to God, God gave her a revelation that everything that she wanted was in a man, but she had mishandled it.
Yeah.
Do you think her verbalizing that and not keeping that on the inside pridefully and verbalizing it, what did that do as a man for your heart to hear the woman who's pretty tough? She's a Taurus. She know what she wants. She gonna move like that. As you told me, she a real estate agent. She was used to making her own money, handling her business.
And don't apologize.
And don't apologize at all.
Yeah.
What did that apology do for your heart?
I saw her as willing to try. I saw her as willing to be submissive. I saw her as willing to see me. And when I saw it, I couldn't unsee it.
Was this the version of her that you always dreamed of or at least prayed for?
Yes. Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes, bro.
I just want to say, like, congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Because there's so many men on the other side of this camera. They have a vision for their wife. When I look at the word bride and groom, when I think of groom, like that is a position in which you literally are there to groom a person.
Ooh.
Like you are grooming. Like you are grooming.
I ain't never thought about it like that.
Yeah, so you're grooming. So oftentimes what I see the pushback from women is that they don't like the grooming, right? Because it's like, well, you can't tell me but it's like when the two are becoming one flesh, there are two positions, a bride and a groom, right? And so when they say we're the bride of Christ, he grooms us with his word, which is so beautiful, right? But when God gives you a vision for your home on how you believe for where we're going, I think these are some character flaws and issues that I think we should be able to do. You're forced to go with like, hey, well, but as a good groomer, you have to have the certain level of patience. You got to be able to reevaluate. Like even if we take a groomer barber, there's different guards, different clippers for different hair.
Man, that's so good. And here's the thing. I went back and it didn't, that submissive, pliable, it didn't stick.
No.
You know why it didn't stick though?
No.
Because I was still undone. I was the person that was making that behavior okay. Mm-hmm. I was creating that kind of atmosphere where she could handle me like that. It wasn't until I decided, I read a book, I ain't even gonna say the book, you know the book. I read that book and I said, okay, here we go. It wasn't until I said, in love, my no in love is just as valuable as my yes in love. One of my mentors said, flash that big handsome smile. I said, nah, baby, we're not doing that today. I love you though, but we're not gonna do that. Yeah. And that feminine energy, but eventually it will calm down.
Every time.
And it will sink to the level of the person that is driving the ship, bro. And so, yes, we still have our tiffs, but oftentimes when we having a tiff, I look at myself and say, hey, where you at?
Yeah.
Are you in your masculine or are you in your feminine? Now let's be clear. I'm a creator. So creative energy is feminine energy.
Yes.
But when it comes out of leading a household, I got a whole masculine frame.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm not going to be the most liked person.
At all.
But that doesn't mean I'm not liked. Because I like me. I love me and God loves me. And so however long it takes for y'all to get it together, I'm going to be all right.
Yeah.
Hey, Willie, it's an amazing place to be in, brother.
Yeah.
It's an incredible place to be in.
I'm learning that so much. And that's why I hit you. Because, full transparency, I was in a situation where I saw it wrong. The 19-year-old boy in me saw something that looked fishy. That hurt my heart. Oh my God, hurt my heart.
Oh, say less.
And
my God.
It hurt my heart. I expected her to be gentle to me because I'm being vulnerable and this don't look right. This is wrong. This should not have happened. And then because she didn't, that 19-year-old boy who was cheated on by his girlfriend as a sophomore.
Dang, bro.
That 19-year-old boy who was so hurt then and he didn't fight the way he could fight now because he didn't have the finances. He didn't have all of that. He decided to fight in this new relationship, and that wasn't even that girl who hurt me.
I'm trying to put myself together, boy. Trying to put myself together. Because that, brother, you understand, it's like, that's the only thing that we ask for, especially people that have wounds of rejection. The only thing I'm really asking for is that, hey, man, that you rock with me, all of me, even when I mess up. You still rock with me. You still love me. You still see me. Man, sometimes I would be, like earlier on, I'd be laying in the bed and I just can't even utter the words, I just want you to touch me, or I just want you to hold me. Because it sounds so damn soft and so
That's all I need.
beta. But man, a woman's touch and her words, they can heal bro, I'm going to tell you something. They can heal wounds from the 8-year-old boy and the 19-year-old boy. And I'm 52. Mm-hmm. And just for her being able to hear me say that hurt without saying, well, you hurt me sometimes too. Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes you do stuff too. Mm-hmm. But to lean in and say, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Now, let me be honest. It took a while to get there because I was up.
Hey, bro.
And then she was up.
Let me tell you something. I'm telling you, bro. It's like if these cameras wasn't on, bro, I'm telling you, it'd be a whole different ballgame. But I know what you mean. Mm-hmm. I've had times in which I said, well, okay. I was in a closet one time. This was years ago. We was at the first house we bought. She was talking to me and she said something. And my dad always said, all right, Helena, that's enough. And my mama just stopped talking. Not my wife. She kept talking. And I said, hey, you need to chill. She slapped my hand away. Man, I caught my hand midstream in the air. Mm-hmm. I ain't never hit a woman. Mm-hmm. I ain't never thought about hitting a woman. But the fact that I was even in that space, it messed me up so bad, I didn't know what was happening. How can this person cause me to want to act like this? She was just stubborn. Just wasn't pliable at all. But when God intervenes, bro, it just makes all the difference.
KD, just kind of as we land on this plane, I know we've been talking for a while. I pray that you enjoy this conversation as much as we are. You know, there are so many men out there who desire these type of circles. And here's what I feel in my heart, in my head. I think that these conversations, men will get a chance to probably get the link from their wife and they'll see two dudes that's like, dang, like they Christians, they cool, they keeping it real. And I think some of the shackles will be broken off of them as well as women to be able to see it and say, dang, I didn't know that affected them so much. Because the biggest demise of the African-American culture in terms of what women think of men was the great divide between jail and black man. When they created a system to keep us out, it gave a false narrative that we are Superman, not because we're Superman, but because that's what we had to be. Like we literally had to learn how to navigate our families from jail. We had to learn how to navigate when they took engineering and factory jobs out of our communities. Like we literally had to learn to navigate our hurt and our pain on the inside. Like it goes all the way back from slavery when men were like forced to get away from their homes and instead of crying in front of their wives and their children as they left, as women are crying, the men are putting their heads up as slaves and just crying in their heart, but never out loud. Yeah. And so now we come to this beautiful intersection where men are saying, listen, I am so tired of crying on the inside. If I could ever see an example of a man who has the capacity to share vulnerably what I'm going through, and if I can hear it, I can connect with those men. And so, fellas, here's the thing. And this real transparent. Me and KD, we've been kind of talking about what partnership looks like, and I've learned now that you got to create an offer while the offer is hot in your heart and your head. And so right now it's probably going to be a real quick little commercial for every man right now, because it's something that I believe that we can do to help my men. And then ladies, if you think this is pliable for your man and you believe that they can use this, I want you to check this out. Wow. So KD, I appreciate that. Make sure that you get involved because that's going to be big. I know it is for everybody, and it's probably going to be good for us as well. KD, just as we get out of here, any final words that you want to share with men, and I'll put a bow on it.
Man, women. Yeah. Be kind to yourself, to gentlemen. Hey man, be kind to yourself. I know you've heard a lot of things about who you should be and how you should show up and your utility, but bro, be kind to yourself. Learn how to listen when it's time to sit down. Learn how to listen to yourself when you don't like something or when you do. Hey, be kind to yourself. Mm-hmm. Love yourself more.
Oh, that was so good.
I get up.
Love yourself more. I love it. Family, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I think we'll take a deeper dive. Make sure you click the link in the description and don't forget to love yourself more. God bless you. Flat out.
Love you more. Love you more.